Let's go live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this amazing freaking experience going live with Rebecca Boatman, and Annie. And
Romani's in the house.
we're the best. But we actually have a really powerful manifestation technique to share with you today. And if
Hello,
you
everyone. Welcome
Wait,
to
what's happening? But if you aren't super familiar with Rebecca, I can guarantee you that you've never done this manifestation technique before. You've never heard of it, you've never done it because it is Rebecca's special technique that she's developed. So, do you want to share what that is, Rebecca?
Yes, please. And hello, everyone. I'm so grateful to be here with Annie and to support you guys and talk about Calibraves. So, a Calibrave is, oh, did you even say Calibrave
I
yet?
didn't.
Oh, okay.
That's the technique.
So, a Calibrave, and you guys might see Annie calibraving on her stories and me calibraving on my stories. Maybe you've heard it there. Maybe you haven't either. Maybe this is the first time you're hearing about it. So, a calibrave is a brave action step that calibrates you to a new frequency. So say your name's Sarah, okay? Whatever your name is, maybe it's Ellen, maybe it's Beatrice. I don't know. Just joking, okay? Maybe it's Edna. Okay, so we have one version of Edna here. Now, she's manifesting certain things in her life. She's in a certain frequency, right? She has certain people who are attracted to her, certain people she's attracted to, money, lifestyle, just all of it, right? Okay, there's one version of Edna. Now we have another version of Edna who is in a completely different frequency. This is her soul's dreams, her desires. It's think abundance, her ideal partner. So here we have two Ednas. So how does Edna here, old version, get to new version? What she does is a calibrate. It's a brave action step that's going to calibrate you to a new frequency in real time. So it's something that we give you that then what happens is your physical body goes through the experience, and what happens inside of that calibrate is any limiting thoughts, limiting behaviors, limiting beliefs that have been keeping you in this old frequency are automatically brought to the surface, and you are able to move through and beyond them and into the sense of self that is a match for your dreams. So the calibrate is the bridge from the old sense of self to the new sense of self, where the new sense of self is connected and inside of the frequency of the things that you desire. And there's an intelligence and a science to this. And the calibraves are working with the way of being. So do you want to share anything, Annie, or should I give examples?
Well, we are going to give examples for
Yeah.
sure. So if you really want to know how this works, I will tell you, Rebecca has calibraved me so many times. For me, it's almost like I actually, you might be surprised, Rebecca. I don't know. Other people might be surprised, but I can get embarrassed pretty easily. So I actually find calibrates to be really embarrassing, but they really do shift your reality because you're getting uncomfortable. Like you're putting yourself in a situation that you normally wouldn't do, and it's uncomfortable for your system. But by doing that, you show yourself that you can do brave things, and the things that you want to manifest typically take brave action, because if it was simple in the way you're viewing it, you would already have it easily. So it's teaching you how to take brave action so that you can go after what you actually want. And we do have a free experience that we're going to share with you that Rebecca's putting on that we'll talk about in just a second. Um, but actually, let's just talk about it now. Like,
Yeah.
share about it. So,
Yeah.
what do you have to share? And then
Let's
and then we'll share like real examples of how we've calibrated and how they can calibrate.
Okay, I love this. So, so you guys really understand what a calibrave is, but the free experience is where you will be calibrating for inside of a 7-day experience. So it's a free challenge. It's
What's
called
it called?
Elevate Your Frequency. So purifying and elevating your frequency to manifest your dreams in love and in money and beyond. So you can look forward to freeing up energy, doing cleansing work, and then also getting really clear on what you want to manifest and taking brave action steps, aka Calibraves, to allow your sense of self to be a match for what it is that you really desire. So it's a totally free experience. We have around 800 people already joining us, which is really exciting. So please come, and it's going to be wonderful. I'm actually flying to Mexico tomorrow at 7:42 a.m. to go and stay in a cabin by a waterfall by myself in like a remote area with no town. I'm a little nervous, but it's my Calibrave to really cleanse myself and just right before the challenge, and I also get to lead this challenge from Mexico. So that's also really exciting. So I'll be tuning in from beautiful Oaxaca and cheering you on as you calibrate and create your dreams. And I'd love to have you and to get to know you and support you inside of that.
So if you want to join the Calibrave experience, then the link is in the description of this video or this live. If you're here live, comment in the chat if you're wanting to join this experience. And if you're watching the replay, then leave a comment down below. But regardless, go click the link in the description. It's completely free. And yeah, we're going to talk about some ways that we've done Calibraves. I would love also, Rebecca, before we share our specific examples, in what ways have Calibraves changed your reality?
Oh yeah. Well, I'll share the Calibrave that I experienced and then the benefits afterwards.
Yeah, let's hear
How
about
about
that.
that? So okay. So, and I also want to share a quick example. So say someone comes to me and they say, okay, I ask them a bunch of questions. They want their dream partnership, and then I ask them a ton of questions, and I realize they're not smiling at men. They're pretty closed off. They're controlled. They're not open and available. So maybe depending on her personality, a calibrate that might be powerful for her is, okay, I want you to go wink at 3 guys. She might be like, ugh, like that's so uncomfortable because it's challenging her sense of self and her identity. And then all of the beliefs around, well, what if he thinks I'm desperate? What like all of this stuff will come up for this for this person, and then she moves through it. And I'm giving a real life example of one of our students. She literally looked at me like I told her to go hide a dead body when I told her just to go wink at men. And she's like, "You're crazy. I don't even know how to wink." And I was like, "Okay, just do, And then she went, and I was like, "Look at that." And she's also said, like, there's no hot men in my town. This is what she said. There's no hot men in my town. Da, da, da. She had all these stories, right, that were so true for her. I said, girl, we're going to challenge that. So she went out that day because we were inside of a structured experience, like you guys will be in the challenge. And she winked at 3 guys. And then she came back, and you could just see the glow and the aliveness on her face. She's like, I did it. Like, it was this huge breakthrough, right? Which was so neat. And then fast forward a week later, she tells us in the group, she's like, you're not going to believe it. I can't go anywhere without seeing a hot guy. Not only am I seeing hot guys, but I'm getting asked out by them. This is in her, I have the chills. This is in her same town. This is in her same town. She didn't fly anywhere. She didn't go anywhere. She shifted her frequency. She met the frequency of what she desired through the Calibrave. Okay. So that's one example of Calibraves that we have hundreds of those. Now, what really inspired this movement was I was in a leadership program, and they don't call them Calibraves. They call them challenges, and their modality is different, but this is what inspired Calibraves for me. So, okay, I was told, Rebecca, you are going to go into a restaurant. You're going to go into a restaurant, and you're going to go with your invisible boyfriend. Okay, you go with your invisible boyfriend, and then you're going to sit down and eat with him, and you're going to send his food back because there's something wrong. And then after you send his food back and you get it back, you're going to then send it back again. And then after that's done, you sent his food back twice, he is going to propose to you. So I'm like, okay, you guys literally gave me the hardest challenge out of anyone in this group, but I'm game. Let's just do this, right? So we have partners. We're partnered up in this program. My partner's challenge was she had to go into she had to take a petition and go around to different people and get them to sign off saying that they think Swiss cheese should cost less because it has holes in it. And for her, like for me, that'd be really fun. For her, it was like a nightmare. She was sweating. She hated it. She was like, this is my word. And people were saying, well, isn't it go by weight? So it's like, I'm like cracking up, right? So calibrators are going to hit on different things because they're going to pop our certain limiting beliefs. And then that area is actually our magnetism as well, which is really cool. So rewinding, that was my Calibrave. So my now best friend, this was like 9 years ago, something like 2016, however long that is. So I was like, okay, if I'm doing this challenge, I want you to film me because I want this content. And she's like, I can't even film you. I'm so embarrassed. I'm like, no one's gonna even know you're with me. You can go sit in the corner. She's like, nope, can't do it. I'm like, oh my gosh, right? So we go into this challenge and are we frozen?
I
Oh,
don't think so.
okay,
Oh,
it was frozen.
maybe I would. Okay.
Okay. I'm like, she's either really still or frozen. So I'm like, we're driving out of town. I don't want to see anyone I know. So we drive out of town to Denny's on a Sunday. Terrible idea. It is packed with people. I finally get a seat and I'm sitting down. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm literally shaking, you guys. I'm sitting down. I'm like, okay, I'm with my boyfriend, Todd, who's not there. And I'm having a full on conversation with him. Like, I'm just in it. Like, I'm like, at this point, I'm like, I'm in it. And I'm talking to him. I'm getting him, putting a straw in his water and I order him food. And then the the waitress comes and I'm like, okay, like I said, like his eggs were done wrong. And so she's like, okay, and like takes it back. And then this family, now I'm like having a conversation. No one's actually there, right? There's no one sitting there. There's a family sitting next to me. They're literally going like this to make sure their kids couldn't see me. Like they're blocking their kids from seeing me. So I'm sitting there like I look crazy. Every fear of judgment, like fear of not fitting in, all of my social conditioning was like, right, I'm hot, I'm like so uncomfortable. It was less amplified. It was like in the space, right? So some adrenaline at this point. And I get the food back and then I have to send it back again. I'm like, oh my gosh, like this, I'm just like staying in it. And I'm like noticing more than ever how much fear of judgment is and the need to fit in is running my life, right? Because I'm having to push through that. So then the waitress was totally enrolled. She was really sweet. She's like, does he want anything else? I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to hell. Like this is so then I'm like, okay, I gotta do the big proposal. So make sure I pay, of course, right? So I don't have to pay after I get proposed to. So then I stood up, right? And I'm like, yes, yes, of course I'll marry you. Ah, right? People are like staring in Denny's. And I'm like, I'm engaged. And I'm yelling so loud to the point where when I walk around, there's like that big dividers where people are waiting to get seated. They can't see that it's no one and they just hear me. So they're like, congratulations. Like, I'm being congratulated. I run out of the place and I'm like shaky. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, but also I feel so liberated. Like the level of freedom and just like breakthrough that I felt was it's honestly hard to put words on it. And that's an intense challenge. We don't worry, we're going to give you stuff that's stretchy yet attainable.
Yeah, that's insane.
So, but what I learned from that was how much the fear of judgment was running my life. And it was so unconscious, right? Until I was my body was inside of experience, which is what we call the Calibraves, that had those limiting beliefs or those beliefs come up like heat to popcorn is what we call the Calibraves. It'll be like heat to popcorn to anything in the shadow, anything you're not seeing. So from that moment, right, all of a sudden I have this new level of power and this new awareness and this new freedom. And I have really released the need to fit it, right? Because when you stretch yourself this much, everything else is like, this is easier. So from that moment, I said, okay, I want a partner and I also want to grow this company. I was working at a startup company. It was making $5,000 a month. The program I was running, not the startup company. The program I was running was only making $5,000 a month. And I said, okay, I'm going to grow this portion of the what I was running. I said, I'm going to grow it to $30,000 and leave and start my own business. So I grew it to $30,000 a month in less than 3 months. Also ended up in a relationship, but it was not a good relationship. I still had other work to do. But those two intentions, right? And grew, yeah, so it went from 5,000 to 30,000 and then started my own business, which is now what you see, the Calibrave movement. And that was because of that. Think about that Calibrave experience I did, you guys. That was only for maybe like 45 minutes. So ultimate manifestation hacks, a Calibrave does not take a long time, but it's something our ego and our old sense of self will put off to stay comfortable. But when you choose in, which we are all capable of that, it's the bridge to that new frequency, to that life that's a match for what you desire. So that's my personal Calibrave experience. And I continue to Calibrave. That's just a story I love to share because it's fun.
It's so good. And I have embarrassment for you, even though I didn't even know you, and that was like a decade ago. Ah, but it truly does shift your frequency quickly. Like I think what did I title this live? Um, the quickest manifestation technique to shift your reality, because it really does shift things quickly. You do
Mhm.
shift your state so fast. And then things unfold. And again, you've had clients and people in your programs have massive, wild results from calibrating, and they keep coming back. And again, if you're just tuning in now and you caught that Calibrave story, Rebecca is putting on a free 7-day challenge called
Elevate your frequency.
I was going to say meet the frequency.
That's our membership.
Yeah, that's right. It's elevate your frequency, and that starts in April 1st through 7th,
Yeah.
and it's not a prank. You're actually doing it. They get there and you're like, psych, this isn't actually happening. So if you want to join that, and you will not be challenged to things as intense as what Rebecca just shared, but it will help shift your reality, and you will be given the opportunity to take actions that are outside of your comfort zone, given to you by someone else, because it's sometimes hard for us to make up those challenges for ourselves. So to be given something and go,
Yeah.
here, go do that in the world, and then to feel that liberation will just shift so much for you. So click the link in the description and you can join. It's completely free, and it's a full week experience with Rebecca, who is clearly amazing.
Aww. And what's so cool about the Calibraves is sometimes it'll make sense to our mind, the ones that we give, where it's like, okay, this makes sense. I do this Calibrave, like the example I shared, where it's like, oh, I wink at one of our students, our members, right? She winked at guys, then was more open. And by the way, that student I'm talking about is now in her dream relationship, like ideal relationship. So that's obvious, right? Like, meaning, I don't know if obvious is the right word, but it makes sense. Now, notice how the Calibrave I did, isn't it wild to think someone said, okay, you're going to go to a restaurant with your invisible boyfriend. And then all of a sudden it led to me like quantum leaping a company and then starting my own, like, or a program and then starting my own. So what's also really cool is remember that the Calibrave plays on an intellect of the being. So your way of being and who you are is shifting, which is connected to the invisible and all possibilities. It doesn't always have to make sense to the mind. So I just want to mention that because there's so much power inside of every Calibrave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'll share, because I'm actually participating right now in Rebecca's membership. I'm her Calibrave buddy, so we're doing Calibraves every single week together. Woo! And I'll share the first one that you gave me. And it sounds really simple, but the Calibrave that was given to me was, I believe it was go ask a stranger. Yeah, go ask
Yeah.
a stranger the meaning of forgiveness or something like
The
that, right?
power of
The
forgiveness. Yeah.
power of forgiveness. Yes. And so that was my Calibrave. And that mindset, that might sound really simple, but for me, again, like I don't like bugging people. I don't like, I don't like asking for things. I know that I need to work on that. I don't like bugging people. I don't oftentimes like talking to strangers unless it's a very inviting environment already. Like if I go to like an event and like the vibe of the people there. But I'm in my hometown, and I don't have a lot of people that I necessarily vibe with in my hometown. So I'm like, great, I have to go talk to a stranger. I don't want to go talk to a stranger. And I have like one day left to finish this Calibrave. So I drive down to the gas station and I felt the resistance. I'm like, oh, I don't really like, I don't want to ask a stranger a question like out of nowhere. Like this, I don't like talking to strangers, to be honest. So I'm feeling this like, I don't want to do it. And I was resisting it all week. But I set the intention while I was driving to the gas station that if I have to do this, because I agreed to do this, so I guess I have to do this, that it would be meaningful and that it would.
She's like, fuck Rebecca. I mean, she's like, can I swear?
Yeah.
F Rebecca, F Rebecca.
Why did I agree to this? But I set the intention, like, let it be meaningful. Whoever I have this interaction with, like, let it mean something. And so I go to the gas station and I decide I'm going to ask one of the cashiers. And there were two cashiers. One I'd interacted with before, one I'd never interacted with. And I was like, okay, if it's supposed to be a stranger, I'll go to the one I've never interacted with. And so I strategically made sure as I was checking out that I was going to be lined up with the person I'd never interacted with. I even had to get out of line a few times just because it was not funneling correctly. So I made sure I was in front of this stranger. She was a little older, like definitely more of like a closed off feeling to her. But I was just like, I have a question of the day I would like to ask you. Is it okay if I ask you? She's like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, in your opinion, what is the power of forgiveness? And she actually was shocked. She's like, I don't know. You caught me off guard. I don't know. And like she got uncomfortable. And I was the one that was like, okay, I'm gonna anchor in and like hold eye contact. And it's like, it's okay. Like what comes up for you? And she's like, well, I guess it's about ourselves, right? It's so that something about us. And she said a little bit. And I was like, yeah, to me, it's we forgive, so we release that energy so that we're not holding on to that and we're not drinking the poison. They say like when you hold a grudge, it's wishing something upon the other person, but you're the one drinking that poison and it's actually affecting you more than anything. And I was able to, from there, share this story because my grandfather had just passed away the week before. And I was like, I want to share this with you. My grandpa just passed away last week and he to his deathbed was holding on to a grudge against his daughter. Like they did not get along a lot of their life and he held it and he would talk about it like, oh, that I won't say her name in case she watches this, but like, oh, like, and he did not want anything to do with her. And days before he was about to pass away, he was just like to the nurse, she's like, oh, I have to forgive her, don't I? Like, I have to forgive her. And finally he decided he was going to forgive her. And he went unconscious the next day, but he admitted that to the nurse. So my dad was able to pass that information along to my aunt that he forgives you. You can go see him, because she wasn't allowed to even see him on his deathbed.
Wow.
And just that story of like the power of forgiveness. Think of how that would have affected my aunt the rest of her life. And she was no angel in this relationship. Like he had grudges for a reason. Mm-hmm. But think of how that would affect her the rest of her existence if for the last several years of her father's life, she never got to even see him or say goodbye to him before he passed away. And she got the gift, even though he was unconscious, to go see him and spend time and let go of any animosity or grudges. And I think that's so beautiful. And I got to share that with that woman and it touched her. And she's like, I think you were supposed to tell me this today because there's someone that I've been holding a grudge against and I really need to work on forgiving them. So like, this was a big blessing. Aww. And so I left just like the intention I set of let this be an interaction with a person where it really means something. Like that came to fruition. So also I think there's a power in setting intentions. Like before you do this, like maybe it's not just like, I'm going to do this calibrate to be uncomfortable. Like, but what intention do you want to get out of it? Like Rebecca, you set intentions of what you wanted and you did that calibrate and those intentions manifested, right? Yeah. So I just thought it was really cool. And it shows me too that I resist talking to strangers because I want to respect their energy. Because like I'll mirror people, not in a way like if they're being a jerk. I'm not going to be a jerk back to someone if they're going to be a jerk. But if I sense that they're closed off, then I'll mirror that. And I'm like, oh, well, I don't want to disturb their energy. And that showed me that I can be soft and open up and help them and shift their energy by not mirroring them, but showing up open. So that was cool.
Wow. Like it reminds me of how you're the thermostat and not the thermometer.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you learned so much about like, oh wow, like I'm not bothering people like that. I feel like that came forward and then you got to move through that.
Yeah, that's a big one for me that I'm always like, I don't want to bother people. I don't want to pressure people.
Versus I'm like, we should should we share the coffee story?
Yes. Yeah, you started off.
Okay. And in regards to intention, what we love to ask is what way of being do you want to are you committed to embodying inside of this Calibrave? So it could be open, it could be loving, it could be powerful. And so that way of being is carried throughout the Calibrave as you are completing it and having your realizations. And this body, right? Our body seeks comfort. Like it's just human. It's human, it's human, it's human. So when what the Calibrave does is it allows your body to also get on board and meet the frequency of what you desire. There's the mind that we can meditating, journaling, and then the Calibrave is also helping align this body so this doesn't stay in comfort in the past. Okay, so coffee story. Annie, I don't know. I think you were sleeping and I got up earlier. I had to lead a call. I had to lead an early call one morning. So Annie and I are staying up in
Washington. Yeah.
Yeah, we're up in Bellingham, my hometown, in the summer. It's like beautiful out. We're having so much fun staying near the ocean. And I had to get up early to lead a Calibrave experience. So I had already gotten coffee. And then by the time I got back to Annie, it was later. And I was like, okay, let's go get you coffee. So then we take her into town, but we've realized like all of the cafes are closed.
Literally every single one. All the coffee shops.
Yeah, there was like one in Birch Bay and then one and like everywhere was like there was either 2 or 3 that were just closed.
Yeah.
So then you can take it from here, Annie.
Oh, so then Rebecca goes, we're going to get you coffee. Like, she said, we're going to find a stranger to make you coffee, as in give me coffee from their home. A stranger. And so I'm just like, what? No, like what? But of course, as much resistance as I have to bugging people and strangers, I have a hard time turning down a dare. So we were just like walking, and first we go and circle around some apartments and scope out like, is anyone on their patio that we can talk to? And there wasn't anyone. So we keep walking. We're walking for a while. And finally, just up ahead, we see this older man crossing the street towards a house, and Rebecca just goes, that guy is gonna make you coffee. And I'm like, or no, you said that guy and his wife are gonna make you coffee. And there was no woman around, but she was just like, that guy and his wife, they're gonna make you coffee. And so we walk up to him as he's like approaching his front door, and we were just like, do you happen to have coffee that we could have? And the guy just opens his door and goes, as a matter of fact, I do. Come on in. Not sketchy at all, just like being ushered into a strange man's house. But anyway, we walk on in, and it's this cute, what did they call it? The
Mermaid Mansion.
The Mermaid Mansion, which it was like essentially almost tiny house style. It wasn't an actual tiny house, but it was just really small, but super cute, like decorated with shells and like beach signs and mermaids. Yeah, super decked out. And his wife was in the kitchen, and he was like, these ladies would like some coffee. Like, can we give it to them? And she's like, sure. I forgot the exact interaction, but I know he was like, oh wait, I thought you just wanted like coffee grounds or coffee beans. And Rebecca's like, nope, we want an actual cup of coffee. And his wife's like, sure, like I'll make you some coffee.
She literally said, I just got it ready for in the morning, so I'll just turn it on now. It was like she just got done already preparing it.
Wow. Yeah. And she also was like, do you want some Baileys in it? And we're like, no, we're good. It was in the middle of the afternoon.
I know, it was like 2 or something.
Yeah. And so then they as the coffee's brewing, they usher us Payless.
Yeah.
Out the back, where they have this, because their house is right on the water on the beach, and all the other houses have like rock beach, but they imported sand. So we got to sit in this like beautiful sandy paradise looking at the ocean, and we just got to sit with them and like hear about their life. And they were just so sweet. And I know her husband kept going like, you girls are you girls are earning me bonus point, because sometimes I let random people come in, and she's like, no, they're like,
She also said, well, honey, they don't have any teeth or something.
oh, the people that he usually lets in. But it was such a great experience. And she even followed us on Instagram and like loved us. And
Yeah, we hung out with them for a good hour,
yeah.
and then we were like, oh, we like wanted to return the kindness and love. So we make really good chia pudding, remember? And we went and dropped it off at, they were at home and we went to drop it off. So we dropped it off at the neighbors. We're like, hey, can you give this to them? But it was so neat. And that's
and also they did put Bailey's in it.
Oh yeah, when we were drinking it, I was like, because I think at one point we said we wanted creamer, but the only creamer they had, it was creamer and Bailey's. So then after I was like drinking it and I was like, are there Bailey's in here? But I was like, I said I didn't want any. And then when we left, Annie goes, there was definitely Bailey's. We're like, oh my gosh. That's Birch Bay for you, Washington.
Yeah. But it was so sweet. And when Rebecca originally said we were going to have a stranger make coffee, I could not comprehend how that was going to happen. And the fact that not only did it happen, it's 3:33 right now, my time, 3:33 PST, but the fact that it happened in that way, and it was such a cute experience. Like it was magical and synchronistic, and they were so kind. And yeah.
I think that's also, it reminds me of the power of devotion when you're just like committed. Like I was playing pickleball, I'm like, I'm gonna win this game. Even Jeremy, and then but he won the next one. But I think in general, as you guys join the Elevate Your Frequency Challenge and anything that you're manifesting is like in life, it's like, oh, this is what's going to happen. And then before we I don't know how long, maybe like 15 or 20 minutes, like from when we said when I said someone's going to make us coffee to when it then happened, like we were kind of we looked at remember we walked through some condo area and we're like, maybe them. Then we're like, no, but we didn't let it detour us or we didn't let it stop us. So you stay committed. And that's the power of devotion also, right? With your dreams, because the universe will send you tests and will send you like maybes, but are you going to, stay on track and say, okay, this is what's happening, and staying open to it, which the openness is also the behaviors like asking that allows it to happen. That's like one example. And that's a very playful, fun Calibrave.
That was really fun. And again, just emphasizing in my perspective why this works so well. If you weren't here earlier in this live, for me, it's because the things that you want to create in your life and manifest, they are outside of your current comfort zone. Because if they weren't, you would do it. You'd go for it. It wouldn't be this desire. You would simply go for it, but it's outside of your comfort zone. That's the thing that's holding you back from what you want, your comfort zone. So this is helping show you that you do things that are a little uncomfortable and beautiful things happen. Like none of the Calibraves that Rebecca will give someone are like horribly detrimental or like bad. No. They're expanders. They're like, oh, I did that. I can't believe I did that. And that's why I like doing things like going skydiving. Like I like to get out of my comfort zone in that way, because that doesn't involve bothering people.
So is it a Calibrave for Annie?
No, a skydiving, I guess, wouldn't be a Calibrave for me, because that's like I would already do that, right?
Yeah. And so what we're doing essentially is we're expanding our nervous system, our ability to experience certain things. So for some people, it's intimacy, right? It's closeness, it's connection, it's emotional availability. And for our students like that, what I'll do is I'll give them a poem. I say, okay, I want you to go read this to a stranger. And that's like that's going to pop those points for them and open up that magnetism. And the reason I say pop points is because in order to do a Calibrate, to go from your old sense of self to your new sense of self, you actually have to call upon more energy. You have to call upon more energy to then overcome this old sense of self and become the new sense of self. So you're generating more energy inside the process of a Calibrate. And when we've done this in groups, you always notice that people are just drawn to you. They can't help but look at like, what's going on? What are they doing? Because you're circulating, you're bringing more energy into your field, into the field, which is just magnetic. So and if you guys are ever curious about the science, you can look up Joe Dispenza's work, but I always say too, I'm like, we need to do Calibraves at Joe Dispenza's retreats because he does a Calibrave type experience, but it's nowhere near as good and dialed in as ours is. Which is, and we have it down because I've led this for thousands of people. We have it down where we can lead them in groups and customize them for thousands of people. So just saying, if any of you know Joe Dispenza,
Ah!
I'm putting it out there.
Or we could just, or you and I will get a group and we'll actually go to his retreats and just start calibrating each other there. And then we'll stand because we're
That's
doing
a great idea.
calibrate. Then they're going to be like, what is this?
Hey,
Come.
he's going to be in, yeah. Right? Like that'd be good. That'd be us being in the Calibrave, right? And he'll
Yeah.
be in July and October or in Colorado. I've been looking at that one. But he is so good at explaining the science behind this. So know that you're going to draw upon more energy. And also there's going to be some Calibraves that are some things that are either what are you laughing at in the comments?
Oh, but Cole's on the live and he said, ain't nobody do it like Rabani.
You know what's crazy? When you smiled and you were looking down, I instantly went, Cole's here. Chip's here.
Really?
Swear.
Cole's
Hi,
here.
Chipperoonie. I can't see the comments from my end.
No.
That's wild. Or people or participants. But that's okay. So you're calling upon more energy to become your new sense of self. Ding! So there's like Annie explained, skydiving is more fun for her. So it's not really a calibrate. Maybe when you're about to jump out the airplane, there's
I would say the first time I did it, it would have been a calibrave because I always had the thought of I would go skydiving, but I wouldn't seek it out. If someone invited me, I will do it, but it's not something that I would like. It was scary, but then when I did it, I'm like, wait, this is really fun. Now I'll skydive whenever. If anyone wants to go skydiving, I'm down.
Yeah, so you did the Calibrave, you expanded your experience, you had new anchor points that, oh, I'm safe when I land, therefore the next time's easier. And you can apply that same method towards other things. Like when we talk about dating, maybe it's flirting, maybe it's saying what you want, maybe it's challenging someone in a healthy way, right? So, or maybe when it comes to abundance, maybe it's asking for or raising your prices, or maybe it's, there's different things, or maybe it's with your family. There's so many different areas. And so you, to make this more tangible, you could, as we're talking, you guys probably already know where your calibrate is. Like a part of you does, of course, right? You're intelligent beings. So a great way to look at, great things to ask are like, okay, what have I been avoiding? What do I not want to get intimate with? Or what's the step I know I need to take that would support me in meeting the frequency of my ideal life, right? Where have I been playing small? Where have I been being comfortable? And you can, or staying comfortable, you can create your own mini calibrate. And of course, you can sign up for our upcoming free challenge where you're going to get calibrates from me and you'll do those ones.
Starting April 1st.
Woohoo! Yeah, starting in like less than a week. And I'm kicking it off with my Calibrave by going in the remote cabin, no service, no one speaks English.
Oh
And I'm
my
a little
gosh.
nervous. But you know what? I want to see it Calibraven gear, like gear that says Calibraven.
There
That'd be
you
so fun.
go. Do it. And I would also love for you guys who are here live or watching the replay to do this in the comments. Let us know, like, where are you feeling that resistance and where are you avoiding and feeling blocked? Because again, that is the key to where you could use some expansion. Someone said, how could you apply this when it comes to losing weight and getting healthy? Do you have any input on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, well, I would look at what step are you avoiding? Is it receiving support? Is it, because I recommend having support with, guidance. Is it, I would ask the question, and I'll ask you right now, what's their name?
The username is Fairy Girl.
Oh, fairy girl, I love it. We love the fairies.
We're fairies too.
We love them. What's the step you can take that would support you that you've been putting off? And then from there we can unravel more and more and more. And know that fairy girl, there is a version of you that exists. There's that timeline that's already living and breathing where you are healthy and you feel great and confident and vibrant in your body. It's already living and breathing. Are you open to that? Are you open to that frequency? Are you open to that manifestation, that timeline, or willing to be? right? And so if we know, okay, I've been closed off, I haven't been open to that, changing that, devoting yourself to that, and doing this work right now, which is the inquiry, which is looking at, okay, what am I not looking at? What, and then let me actually behave in a way that allows for that to happen.
Yeah, it's so like just the thought that came up to mind, which is I feel like a known thing that we don't take a lot of consideration into considering it's known, but like the breakthrough you're needing is in what you're avoiding. And
Mhm.
that's what calibraves are. Like it's having you face the thing that you're avoiding. And maybe not directly, but in fun, expansive ways that are also slightly scary. And that's why they work, because if the breakthrough you're wanting is in what you're avoiding, then like let's do that in a group that's supportive. That is why this challenge is such a good opportunity, because it's not like we're telling you go off on your own and challenge yourself to do something that's scary. Like no, you're in a group that's going to be supportive, and like you're going to share the breakthroughs and cheer each other on and be like, gosh, like it's so different in a group versus just doing things on your own, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Completely different experience.
There's something called group magnetism, where I'm a beacon of light, Annie's a beacon of light, right? We're all beacons of light. Cole, Fairy Girl, everyone here, we're all
Fairy
beacons of.
Girl signed up. Woo! And she said that helps a lot, by the way.
Oh, awesome. Welcome, love. Fairy Girl's a beacon of light. All the 800 people who signed up, beacon of light, right? And now, as we all show up with an intention and we're elevating our frequency, imagine all of our beacons of light are together and they're imagine think about how bright that is when you visualize 800 people and their lights are beaming right through this work that we're going to do together. And then that allows the what you want to manifest to get it's amplifying the desire louder, and it's allowing it to be louder to support the actualization of it in earth. It's called group magnetism. If you want to research it, it's really fascinating. So not only do you have the support, but you're also popping inside group energy, which only amplifies your ability to manifest, which is really cool.
Hmm. Also, I want to speak a little bit on Rebecca's character.
Aw.
She challenges me to do scary things all the time. No, she does though. But I want to talk about her character because, for one, she's just a great person. Like she's such a good, genuine friend. I'm in a mastermind right now, and they're like, "Who's the one is there one person in your life that just like cheers you on and like makes you feel unstoppable?" And I'm like, honestly, Rebecca. Rebecca's such a great support. And on top of that, in her membership, she did a retreat. So you did a retreat earlier in the year, and it was so cool watching Rebecca put this retreat together because she was so inspired of like, I want to bring people in and just pamper them. Like the entire experience, I just want them to feel what it's like to receive without needing to do or give. And I think the retreat is if they were in your membership, it was free, right? Like if they
It,
were in, or something like that.
it was a surprise gift. So if they had done, it was a way to encourage them to do calibraves in their own life. So as long as if we said, okay, do 3 calibraves and you have this complimentary retreat that I'm putting on. So it was a ton of people who had already done calibraves were able to come, and then people and the new people who were like, okay, I got to do my 3 calibraves so I can come to this experience. So we made it was really a unique, cool twist on retreats to give back to our
Yeah.
members.
And it's like it was for a gift for people in the membership, and just I just saw you pour your heart into it, and it was like it wasn't this thing where you're like it's this marketing strategy and it's going to be like whatever. You're just like, no, I want people to come and truly experience what it's like to receive without expectation. Like you're allowed to receive. And like that's just the kind of heart you have. And I just want to speak to that, because if you get the chance to experience Rebecca's world, you're going to be delighted by so many surprise like blessings and fun things. And Rebecca's such a just a fun, magical fairy kind of a human to be around. So I love to see how much you care.
Aww.
You're like, I want people to do well, and I want them to receive, and I want them to like open up, and I want them. So
Aww. Oh, it
There's no
froze for a second. It totally froze. Thank you, babe. I think there was a lag between us. That's so sweet. Thank you so much.
course.
Aw.
Yay, Rebecca signed up.
Welcome.
Becca signed, or not Becca, you, Becca.
I'm like to another Rebecca.
Becca signed up. My girl, Becca. Becca was one of
Oh,
my first ever one-on-one clients, by the way. Shout out to
welcome,
Becca.
love.
Who else is signing up? Let us know in the chat or in the comments if you're watching the replay. And honestly, again, it's a free experience, so you probably just should. You should
Yeah,
sign
and
up.
we're giving away a ton of prizes during the challenge too, which will be really fun. We're giving away a different prize every single day. So yeah, we're gamifying it. I'm the gamifier. I like gamifying everything. You come to my retreat, I'm also gamifying stuff. I think it just makes it fun and helps you see your progress. And yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's around the corner, so you guys are all invited and welcome. And it's time to calibrate. Calibraves only take a short period of time. And now when Annie and I are together, we're always calibrating each other. And now I was sharing this with someone else the other day with Annie. I'm like, I'll literally say, Annie, calibrate, and I'll do it. And it's almost like her body responds now before her mind does, because then she'll just like do it.
So there was like an older man out the window as you were driving the truck, and you're like, tell him he looks good. He's good looking. And I'm like, you're good looking or whatever.
And then you go like, what did I just listen to you?
And I'm just like, why did that just come out of my
It
mouth?
totally made his day.
Yeah.
And then you're riding that wave, you're in that frequency, and then it's like good thing after good thing after good thing after good thing that just continues to happen. Like today, funny story. So I go to this place every day to eat, and I told Jeremy's like, I'll go get you a burrito because there's a free truck outside. I was like, okay. And then I was like, tell him it's Rebecca's special order, because I like micromanage my burrito order. Like super specific. I add a bunch of stuff, take stuff out. It's like honestly, it's a completely different burrito than on the menu. And then they were like, oh, and then Jeremy made his order. And then Jeremy came back with a bag and was like, they gave it to us for free. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, they said that because you gave him coffee or something. I'm like, but I never gave him coffee. So I'm like, even though I totally would, but I'm like that. I just love when beautiful synchronicities and things like that happen. I don't know. There may have been a language barrier. I don't know what was going on, but we got free burritos, and I was like, and I go there literally every single day.
Yeah.
But I'm like, and just different things like that. That's like synchron, where it's just maybe because I also love food is a love language for me. And if I eat off your plate, I feel loved.
Aw, you can eat off my plate, Rebecca.
Good. And so I look forward to inside the 7-day frequency challenge together, hearing those synchronicities that happen for you and that light you up. And it's like one thing after another. And it's going to be a powerful, timeless, fun time.
Yay. Becca signed up. Courtney signed up. Kazimulo, I probably just butchered your name, signed up. Yeah, Courtney signed up. Yay. Yay. So get in on this. It's going to be so much fun. You will have things shift in your life. Anything else you want to share before we go?
Just to have an amazing day, whether it's morning, afternoon, or night, and know that you can start to calibrate now. So if anything came to mind, I invite you to just lean into it. When the ego will sometimes want to say, oh, that's going to take too much time. Oh, they probably don't want to hear from you. Oh, and they will try to make excuses to stay comfortable. Just do it. Just lean in and let the magic unfold. We call it the mystery benefits. The moment you do the calibrate, there's mystery benefits that unfold. And they're a mystery because you're going from one point of consciousness to another. And you couldn't see those mysteries from this space, right? So we're cheering you on.
Yes. And I just in general, anytime you're having new experiences in your life, like traveling or just doing something outside of your routine, like things happen. And this is a great way to not only shift your energy from the day-to-day routine, but also, again, put yourself in expansive situations so that, everything shifts. Yay. Got some comments coming in about financial stuff. My challenges are often about financial stuff. I got an unexpected check the other day, and I just did deposit on the go as I'm watching this. Doesn't sound major, but it was. Oh, getting outside of your comfort zone, receiving money. That's a big thing. So, oh yeah. So this challenge, the themes are also around money, around love, around just
Cleansing.
manifestation in general.
Yeah, so the first day we'll do powerful intention setting practice. The second day we'll do cleansing so we can create space and purification. Because I also want to support you guys in not manifesting what your ego wants, but what your heart wants. Because if we manifest from our ego, what happens is we get to the end and we realize like this isn't actually why do I feel empty or confused? So we talk about that and support you in like, okay, what's actually aligned with my soul and how and is exciting for me genuinely in my heart and my values. So cleansing, and then we're also going to have an entire day around love, relationships, and an entire day around money. So that will be fun. And then the rest will be a surprise.
Yay! Come be delighted and surprised. And again, if you want to join in on this experience, the link is in the bio of this video currently. So right now, click the description, click the link, sign up, and it begins next Monday. So in
Yeah,
less than
so I think there's like less than 5 days to sign up before it's too late.
all right. Well, Rebecca, thank you for coming on and sharing your magical manifestation technique that everyone gets to try now and spreading that to the world. And
Absolutely, love. Thank you for having me on here, Rabani. Rabani
Rabani,
needs to do Rabani events one day.
we are going to do Rabani
It's
events, and you
so
better
fun.
believe that you're going to calibrate at them.
Ah.
They would be the most ridiculous events ever, I'm sure.
It would be so fun. We would have so much fun. I tell Annie, I'm like, we need to just RV life it for like a couple of months for fun, tour the US and do different meetups in
Ooh.
different states. I think it'd be so fun.
I'm like, we should do thinking of RV, like do a camp version. Like everyone comes together and we camp.
Babe. Okay, let's do it. Washington, August. Let's go.
We're gonna plan something. You guys watch out. All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. Hit the like button if you like Team Rabani together. Ooh, I see some more signups coming in.
Woohoo!
Oh, Becca said I would sign up so fast for that. Maria said, love that. Come to Portland. Yes. But first sign up for the free challenge that's happening next week. Again, thank you for being here. Click the like button if you enjoyed this. Thank you, Rebecca. And more Rabani to come.
Mwah. Thanks, guys.
Ending stream.